got kind of pillars at the sides and old tabs which you pull in and out, and foot pedal which is embroidery on it starting to wear away. Probably about the size of a pony, I'd say. My dad was always fascinated with musical instruments. There's the harmonium that's in the house, and there's a big one which I think is complete in the... Oh no, maybe it's the big one that's not complete in the barn, and then a small one in the barn. The biggest harmonium in the barn is surrounded by a lot of junk, as far as I can remember, which would be suitcases, framed pictures, massage table, might still be the healing heat lamp there, also whatever you can think of really is in boxes all around it. Old tins of powder paint, there's on the windowsill, there's car parts, there's Chris's Ford Cortina very nearby. Mark 1 Ford Cortina he's very proud of. Old sheet music and magazines from the 1970s. There's a one-string instrument that you just you vibrate the wooden outside bit, and it's just going wow, 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 that kind of thing, with a hide bottom. My dad loved recording things. There are loads of Betamax videos that he created. So he did what he could. He had the dictaphones and he had the Betamax videos, but he was just before the internet, really. He did have a keyboard. He did get into a little bit of... He loved Philip Glass and the kind of more experimental Michael Nyman, and so he did do a little bit of experimental keyboard. Kenneth, being from Texas, he was very proud of his Texan roots, so he'd wear his Stetson kind of hat, not a 10-gallon hat, but a sort of felt kind of one. And he loved his jean shirt with the pearl buttons and all those kind of traditional Texan things. And then he loved the Tibetan traditional things, so he'd be striding up the hill with a big tuba on, with probably a sacred Nepalese belt around it, and his Texan hat. And being a very tall, big Texan, he stood out in the valley. I remember talking to someone who didn't know him, but when I described where I lived, they said, oh, you must be the daughter of that guy who I saw when we were passing. He had his arms outstretched out in the field and it looked like he was Merlin or something, or Gandalf, they might have said, I'm not sure. But so a bit of a mystique kind of grew up about him in a way. But apparently when the police came to arrest him because he'd been slagging off his neighbours through a loud hailer, apparently he raised his arms to the sky and there was a clap of lightning, and the police sort of drew right back. So that's on the mythical kind of stories. I did hear some quote that the reason you fall in love with someone is the reason you can often fall out of love with someone. So to begin with, maybe it's very endearing that he collected beautiful things and then starts to drive you mad after a while, I can imagine.